Life is sweet. Let it sweep you off your feet.
Hi, I'm Allie and welcome back to Find Your Joy. And today I'm really excited. You are in for a treat because we have with us one badass entrepreneur, Lorna Ketler of Bodacious. Hi, Lorna, welcome.
Hi, Allie. Happy to be here.
I'm so glad to have you here. I've been thinking about this for so long, and as is my way, I get so excited. There's so many things I want you to talk to about and tell us all about that. I'm if you see there's a whole bunch of roads that are all leading into a bottleneck of the highway. That's what my mind's doing right now because I want to go, where do we start? This woman has so many things that she does. So, oh my gosh. First, I'm just really glad. I know you're really busy. And for you to take some time out to hang out with me and to do this, I really appreciate it. I'll let you know that some of the things that I think would be really awesome for you to share with our listeners are, well, you are a badass entrepreneur and you've really weathered a lot of storms and stayed afloat and thrived. You are also a cold water swimmer. She'll tell us about that a little bit later if you don't know. You're a best-selling author. You are a promoter of self-love and body love and a self-love champion. I mean, I'm just thinking there's so many things. Let's start with wherever you would like to start. Tell us a little bit about Bodacious and how Bodacious is your store, and tell us a little bit about that and how it started. And
okay, Bodacious is a store. It's also a philosophy, and it's kind of my baby, which is turning 23 this year. So it was a store that came from the lack of opportunities to shop in an environment that was fun for plus size women. So when it came into being, it started as a consignment store. And my cousin and I had this idea. Within a couple of months, we found a location, we opened this store, and the rest is history. So for about a year, we did consignment, doing plus sizes strictly. And within a year, I kind of decided that consignment wasn't, or dealing with others, pre-loved fashions wasn't my gig, because I'm too nice. It's like if people told me they had treasures, I just believe them, but they weren't all treasures. So like, okay, we'll try it. And then, we just started working with some local designers and built from there, doing new. At the 10-year mark, I claimed the business as my own. And so I've been doing this on my own for the last, I guess, almost 13 years. I've had a lot of incarnations and locations due to us moving around and family needs and necessities and opportunities and experiences. And now I've landed in Victoria, and just about a month ago, I have a second location in Duncan. So how's that?
I think that's awesome. And so many things that come to mind for me. First of all, tell me again the line that you said about the lack of fun. In plus size stores? What was it? There was one sentence there.
I probably won't remember exactly what I said, but there was a lack of opportunity for fun shopping experiences.
Right. And I think, and I know I've told you this before, but you're my friend. I am a customer. I mean, I've been to your many locations over the years as you've the ebbs and flows and your moves and family requirements and all of those things. And the one thing that I'm always, I can almost get teary about it, is walking into Bodacious is like it's a philosophy. I get that because it really is. It feels like more like I'm about to go for tea or wine and cheese party with girlfriends. Like it's sitting around and it feels very safe. And for humans in general, and then let's say then the next to that would be women next, and then add to that plus size women or bodacious women, or however we want to say that. it can feel less than safe, less than fun. I don't really want to try anything on because I'm going to look like crap anyways. And that is completely non-existent in your store.
We do have a sign in the store that says this is a body hate free zone.
Yes.
So we try to find things to celebrate. You know, I know we all struggle with that, the you know, loving or even accepting ourselves. I mean, we don't always have to love every part of our body, but just accepting it for what it is. And just being in an environment where it's not about finding your faults and finding the things you can celebrate or at least enjoy or make you twirl or your eyes twinkle or whatever it is, creating your style.
I love that. And the other thing that's really wonderful to me from, well, there's so many things here, there's so many layers, is as an entrepreneur, you didn't get stuck in the mindset. I love like the things that when I first met you, I think your store was in Gibson's.
Okay.
I think that it was in Gibson's. And then you moved and the store moved and you were in False Creek. Or Granville Island and Granville Island. And then you did things like you did pop-up stores and you would come to Victoria and you would go to different places. And it's just this constant, it's just like a person. It really is. I can see that it's like a baby because it's not, you know, my store is at the corner of 3rd and Main. And if it doesn't fly there, that's it. I'm never going to do this again. No. I think that that's a really good, that's a great experience for you and for your customers, but also for maybe upcoming entrepreneurs. How did you come to that you weren't going to just, okay, now I'm not going to do this anymore because I'm moving?
Well, I think I've always known and seen and experienced the need for it. You know, I have women who come to my store from all over, well, I could say the world, I guess, if they're traveling and they're coming. And most of the time they tell me there's nothing like that where they come from, you know, and so there is a need for that energy, for that celebration, for that woman that maybe can't walk into just any store and have that experience. So that drives me. So it's, you know, that fills my cup, that fills my bucket. If I get to go and have those experiences with women who are just super happy that you're even there and that you exist, that's a pretty great feeling. Yes. So the more I can have that feeling, you know, it feeds me to do it more.
Right.
If I could only clone myself.
Yes, that's right. That it is the thing because yes, and you have amazing staff and you've always had amazing staff. And sometimes people want Lorna.
Yeah. I mean, I am the face of my brand and I kind of veered off from that for a long time. And I thought I was done. I thought I wanted to do something else. And you know, I don't know if we're going to talk much about COVID, but COVID brought that gift of me and my business and my passion back because I had to in a full way, right? I had to let my staff go. I had to just figure out how the hell I was going to survive this.
Yes.
That. And so I had to step back in. And so now I experience it all in a different way. And I remember my why and I remember my passion and I get my cup filled on a more regular basis because I'm there in my business more. So, yeah.
Yeah. And I think that a lot of times, a lot of people are saying, you know, COVID, a lockdown in general, obviously there's going to be impact for people that's going to be very far reaching. You did really fun things during, you made it, you made a pandemic fun, girl. Well, you did. Where possible, you did distance personal shopping. You did mail outs. You did there was so many personalized things that you did. You did people could shop online, and if they were local, you would actually drop it off to them and a distance hello. You kept it all legal and safe and fun.
And yeah, and I did a lot of solo kind of happy dancing in the store, trying to keep that
That's
level.
right. It was awesome. It was awesome.
It's funny, I finally did a live yesterday, and I haven't really been able or felt compelled to do lives since then. I think I mean, I did it a lot, and I was just craving like the real personal contact.
Yes.
So yeah, anyway, it was kind of funny to realize.
That was another thing you did, whether it was Facebook Lives or TikToks or whatever. You showed you didn't just show the items, because you never just show. You modeled them, you danced, you giggled, you had fun, you chatted with us. It was beautiful.
Well, yeah, it was a lot less lonely when I can see some shows.
Yeah. And so it's sort of also, I don't know which came first, the chicken or the egg, but the self-love champion, that part of you that, I mean, you're available to do talks for that. You do retreats. Oh my goodness, you do fashion shows. You are always giving to the community. But part of a part of what you do in that is a self-love champion. And so what does that mean? A self-love champion, besides the obvious that it conjures up for all of us?
I think I try to walk the walk as much as I possibly can. I wear a bikini when I'm swimming, not because I think I look fantastic in a bikini, but it feels better because I want less clothing on my skin when I'm in the water. So number one, but I also want to show women that they can just wear whatever they need to wear to allow them to do the thing they need to do.
Yes.
Because it feels beautiful when you do it, so walking the walk as much as I can. I don't always love my body. I don't, always celebrate all my bits and pieces, but I remind myself every day. And the more I talk about it, the better I feel, and the better I think other people feel. Right. And I can see that I'm doing it. I had years ago now, we went to Greece, and you have these visions of what the whole aesthetic of Greece is all about the aesthetic, right? I mean,
yes.
It's the crystal clear waters and the sand, the beaches, and I had this vision of what I would look like in Greece. And my friend took a picture of me jumping off a boat, and it wasn't, I'm going to cry. It wasn't what I wanted to look like. It didn't fit the aesthetic of my dream. And I thought I had to stop fixating on that. And I had to remember the experience, because the experience was, I'd say, top 5 on my bucket list.
Right.
So if I fixated on the fact that I didn't love how I looked in the photo, I loved how I felt in my body in that moment.
Yes.
I had to just let the rest of that go. And I shared the picture, and I told that story because I felt that was really important. It makes me cry. I'm not sure why, but yeah. So I think, we fixate on the rules and looking into the mirror too much, like it's a one-dimensional quick look at your body. That's not what people are seeing when they look at you. They're seeing your smile and your essence and your beautiful heart and all the other physical pieces too. But it's all put together into a piece of you. Anyway, I'm not ranting, but I might be.
No, you're not even close to ranting. It's beautiful. You're passionate about what you're sharing. And the two things that come to my mind, I'll say first, is I remember that picture very well. Mm-hmm. And I just thought how beautiful you looked. Isn't that funny? It looked fun. It looked so free. You looked beautiful to me. I had never, had you not said that you had that feeling when you saw the picture, it would have never entered my mind, because it was because the picture showed how you felt in the moment.
Right.
Later was just your interpretation, of course, of it, but that we all do. Yes. And that reminded me of, our friend Auntie Kate was just playing at the Indigenous Music Festival. And so I went up there, and I was dancing on the grass. And David took a picture of me, and he said, hey, and I looked, and I did this kind of little pose, and I was backwards, and I was so happy, and it was magical, and it was beautiful. And then I saw the picture, and it was a full-length picture. Mm-hmm. And I'm almost 64. I'm not 24, and I'm not a small. And I lost for a moment the joy I felt.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said to myself in true Lorna fashion, yeah, no, I'm not losing this. And I posted that picture because that picture was fun. And that's the picture everyone's liking. Oh my gosh, you look so beautiful. Oh, blah, blah. You know, they're saying these things and I'm thinking, what, you have no eyes? But then now I'm starting to love that picture.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I love that you're sharing that, because what I saw in that picture, I saw the joy.
Mm-hmm.
And you are so beautiful. And I actually really love you in your bikini.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
I have several
it's
bikinis now.
yeah.
Now it's like there's this expectation now. Just kidding.
Yeah. But it's so the whole self-love movement. Now, some of what you do through doing retreats and women's events really does celebrate all of that. And it invites others in to celebrate that. When you have we haven't had the annual for a little bit because this whole COVID thing. But when you had your annual, it was a fashion show, and it was just a glorious and wonderful event. And you always give back to women in need.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's super important. I mean, and the sad part about, well, it's generally it's a transition house here, that is even more of a need than ever. So
yes,
yeah, so it is important, I think, I know, to give back and do, and yeah, if we could only all do more, right?
Right, and until we need to do less,
Exactly,
we can do some more.
Yeah.
I love the things that you do. I love the way that you create and you reinvent yourself, and you are always a champion for others. That's seems to just be how you're wired. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask if you'll be willing to come, and we'll do a second session, and I'll stop this one here, and then we'll for everyone listening, this will be over until next week. For us, we'll be back in like 1 minute. Okay. And if that's okay with you, I would love to do that. Because there is more things that we need to dig up, dig up. Well, we haven't got rid of any bodies or anything, but yeah, maybe edit that. Anyways, thank you so much for hanging out. And for those of you listening, thank you so much for joining us today. This is Ali, and do find your joy. We'll see you next time. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you found a piece of your joy in this episode, I would love to hear about what came up for you so that we can continue to grow the impact of this show. Thanks again. See you soon. And remember, find your joy.